Say goodbye to your credit card rewards. Big box retailers, led by Walmart and Target, are pushing for a bill in Congress to take away your hard-earned cash back and travel points to line their pockets. Senate Bill 1838 would enact harmful credit card routing mandates that would end credit card rewards as we know it. If you love your credit card rewards, visit handsoffmyrewards.com and tell them to oppose credit card routing legislation paid for by the Electronic Payments Coalition.
Bwaaa! Bwaaa trash fight all through the night, deep in the heart of Texas. The trailer park is nice and dark, deep in the heart of Texas. Dad drinks his brew and he spits his chew, deep in the heart of Texas. The TV blares, but no one cares, deep in the heart of Texas. Here we go!
Hey there, welcome back to Bwaaa, a King of the Hill rewatch podcast. I am Mike.
And I'm Rusty.
This being a That Ain't Right Friday, we're going to do some more guest stars, this time from season 2.
Yeah. And there's some really good ones in season 2, like right out of the gate. The very first episode has 2 really good guests.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, the very first one, How to Fire a Rifle Without Really Trying, Angela Kinsey as Angela. And, Yeah, and Wallace Shawn as Philip Nwai.
Yeah, and Wallace Shawn, isn't he the guy from Princess Diaries?
Mm-hmm.
What's it called?
Yeah.
Princess Diaries.
Princess Diaries, yeah. Inconceivable, that guy, yeah.
Inconceivable. Yeah. He's also, I think he does a voice. I think he does a voice on Toy Story as well, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, yeah,
he does
a
lot of voices.
He does the T-Rex.
Yeah, he does. He
He's
does
the
T-Rex. Yeah.
Absolutely. And then, of course, Angela Kinsey from The Office.
Yeah, The Office. Yeah, you gotta love some Angela Kinsey. They actually have a really good podcast. Her and I can't remember her name, but the lady who plays Pam. They have their own podcast where they run through The Office. I don't know if you've ever heard it or not.
Oh yeah. Office Ladies. Yeah, it's good stuff. Yeah, it's not bad at all. I would say that is the best Office podcast.
Well, hands down, they give you the you get all like the inside scoop with them, that you don't really get with a lot of these type of shows.
That's true. Next up, we've got Texas City Twister. That has, and God bless me, Neil Guntoili, Giuntoli, yeah, as Wheezy.
I don't know. Yeah, your guess is as good as mine on that.
And then
let's see if I can see his name here.
Maurice LaMarche as radio announcer. So Maurice LaMarche seems to be a reoccurring person.
Oh, he's Brain. He does Brain and Pinky and the Brain. He does some Futurama characters. He does Zap Brannigan.
Zap Brannigan.
No, he does. No, he doesn't do Zap Brannigan. Sorry. He does Kiff.
Oh,
Zach Brannigan's
Kiff,
side, the assistant Kiff. Yeah, and then he plays a couple of other small characters on there too. And then anytime, I think there's a Orson Welles impression that somebody does on one of the episodes on the show, and that's him. He does a really good Orson Welles on Futurama apparently. But he's also done work on The Critic. He voiced 29 characters in one 30-minute episode on The Critic.
Holy crap. On The Critic, huh?
Yeah.
Did you ever watch The Critic?
Yeah. Isn't that the one that had like the shaky kind of like lines? Like the lines were kind of wavy?
No, The Critic was John
Lovitz.
John Lovitz, and he was like a movie critic.
Okay. So no, I never saw that one. The one I'm talking of, I can't remember even the name of it, but like the lines on it were real wavy for the whole show. Like the whole show you were watching, the lines were just, I don't know, it was really weird animation.
Yeah, The Critic was I liked it. I thought it was really good, and it had a lot of like celebrity type stuff. It reminded me of like it reminds me of like a Family Guy or something like that as far as the humor goes.
I'm gonna have to run that back and watch that one. Yeah, I'm seeing here that I know we're talking about King of the Hill, but it has Nancy Cartwright in it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, so right, from that's enough for me to watch it. Yeah, Bart Simpson.
It's good stuff. I really enjoyed that show, and that was kind of one of the shows that really ticked me off when they canceled that. I don't even know what they replaced it with, but probably something that's not on anymore.
Yeah, probably so.
Next episode is Arrowhead. Maurice LaMarche again as John Lerner. So he is definitely a reoccurring voice.
Well, at this time, this would be, probably the height of like voice acting for him. This would probably be like one of the, he's doing Pinky and the Brain at this time. The Critics, they're all around this time. Pinky and the Brain, the Critic.
Yeah.
The very beginning of Futurama, because Futurama started in like 99?
Yeah, something
2000,
like that.
Because I remember it was around the millennial that it started, because that was a part of the hype of the show was the turning of the millennial.
Oh yeah. So the next episode we've got is one of my favorites is Halloween.
Oh, hold on. I don't want to interrupt you real fast, but I'm going to. So a fun fact about LaMarche. I thought this would be a cool fun fact to throw in there for him.
Yeah.
So there is a ride at Six Flags over Texas, which you and I both know to be in Arlington, Texas, and he voiced Yosemite Sam on a dark ride called Yosemite Sam and the Gold River Adventure. So if you ever ride that ride and you hear that voice,
it's Maurice LaMarche.
That's LaMarche. And it's still like immortalized. So it's like it started in 1992, and I believe that the ride is still going. So his voice is carried on for like 20 years on this Yosemite Sam ride.
Wow. That's kind of cool. The other guy that I mentioned, this Neil, how do you say his last name? Giuntoli, maybe Giuntoli.
What episode was he on?
Well, he was on Texas City Twister.
Oh, Texas City.
Yeah, Twister, the one before this one. But I felt bad because I didn't mention anything that he had been in. He was on NYPD Blue, Ally McBeal. For the most part, he's an actor in TV rather than just voiceover. He's been Jeff Foxworthy's show. He's been on a ton of stuff. A lot of CSI.
Are you talking about
things like that?
Jeff Foxworthy's abysmal sitcom. I mean, I like the. Don't get me wrong. I really like the blue collar comedy stuff.
Yeah.
But the one that I like, the two that I liked the most were Bill Engvall and They Call Me Tater Salad. I can't remember his name. Ron White.
Yeah,
those are the
Ron
two
White.
That I like the most. I like them two the most. I really didn't like the "you might be a redneck" jokes. They just seem to appeal to one particular audience. They didn't have like a broad range of it. Like,
well,
you could listen to the humor from you could listen to Ron White's stories and stuff like that, and it was way better, way better stuff than
it's the same
like blue collar trailer park crap.
Well, it's the same deal with Larry the Cable Guy, same kind of stuff. It was one note. There's just one note there.
Yeah,
and that's kind of what it is.
That was it. Yeah. So. And I mean, I guess he made his millions because you don't ever hear of him anymore.
Definitely.
You don't ever hear of him anymore.
Well,
so
all he had to do was
money and got out of it.
All he had to do was make nine Cars movies. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, the Cars movies, that was enough for him. Just being because they had some other ones that were pretty stupid. There was that one Larry the Cable Guy Health Inspector, Delta Farce, and Witless Protection. And then they put him on the Cars stuff. I think the Cars stuff is probably where he made all.
Well, I remember
probably the majority of his money.
I remember him from way back. He used to do radio spots. Like he would be a character that like these morning zoo crews would call or whatever. I remember when I was a kid, he would come on those radio shows and do his Larry the Cable Guy act.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, long time ago.
Oh, fun fact: I know this doesn't really matter, but Larry the Cable Guy's hometown is actually Pawnee, Nebraska, which is also the Parks and Recreation city.
That's really fantastic.
That's a big old looping circle. Nothing to do with King of the Hill, but there you go.
we're up to Halloween, and
Halloween. That's an actual great one. Yeah,
of course the big one, Sally Field. Sally Field is Junie Harper. And then you got Neil Giantoli again as second closer. So once again, this guy appears. Next one up is Jumpin' Crack Bass. Again, a favorite. There were hardly any cartoons that allowed the characters to try crack before this happened.
Yeah, not very many TV shows were feeding crack to their. Not very many at all.
You had Dan Butler as the attorney. You had Brent Forrester as the dealer, but the big one was James Carville as the judge.
Yeah, he was the judge. Yeah, James Carville.
Yeah, James Carville, known for being married to the big Democrat and him being the big Republican.
Didn't he work for like both Bushes and like Reagan and stuff?
Yeah, he ran a lot of the Republican campaigns. Yeah.
Oh, okay, so he was a campaign guy.
Yeah, he's a big campaign guy.
Wasn't he? What was his nickname? Wasn't he the Raging Cajun?
Raging Cajun. You got it. Yep, that's it.
No, he was the Democrat. I thought he was the Democrat, and his wife was the Republican.
I thought it was the other
way around. You got it flipped around because they called him the Raging Cajun because he worked on Clinton's.
Oh, that's right.
Campaign.
He was on Clinton's. Yeah,
and then
right.
Mary Madeline was her name, and she worked with Reagan, HWW, and she was a counselor to Dick Cheney.
I always wanted to call her Mary Madeline, but that's the deaf actress.
Blind. Oh, she's deaf. Right?
Yeah. Blind. Okay, next one, Husky Bobby. I love this one just because of the way that he goes down the runway and all that stuff. I think it's just a fantastic one.
I love this one.
Patricia Childress as Annie Menard and Crying Child. And then Joanna Gleason as the receptionist and Steve Vinovich as the salesman. I don't really know any of those names other than Joanna Gleason.
Well, I know. I just went ahead and looked her up just to see who she was. Patricia Childress.
Mm-hmm.
She actually has 2 Emmys.
Wow.
She has worked on award-winning films, including As Good as It Gets,
mm-hmm.
Dead Man's Walk, a television film by writer Larry McMurtry. That's A Dead Man's Walk. It's a TV film.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Independent projects at MTV and CBS. She was associated with the Dr. Phil show. She helped develop and create Dr. Phil's Ultimate Weight Loss Challenge, which broke daytime ratings records in 2003.
Okay.
So that's pretty obscure. And then she worked on the launch of model and TV personality Tyra Banks' program, The Tyra Banks Show.
Oh.
She earned 2 Emmys with The Tyra Banks Show in 2008 and 2009. And that was in the outstanding talk show / information category, and she was supervising
talk show / information. That's a wonderful category to be in, right?
Yeah, that's where Oprah probably reigned supreme. She was the supervising creative director for 5 years for the show.
Wouldn't it surprise the crap out of some of these shows if like an information show won? You know, just like it's about Alzheimer's or something. You know, just boom, there it is.
There it is. I imagine 60 Minutes is probably on. That's probably like the 60 Minutes kind of.
Yeah, I guess so.
I don't know. Maybe not.
I keep thinking
that's like more of like a documentary.
Well,
it's like a documentary.
I keep thinking infomercials for some reason. You know,
infomercials. Yeah.
So
imagine an infomercial that lasted as long as a TV show.
Yeah, that happens.
Able to win that category.
So Steve Vinovich, the other guy on here, he has been in. Okay. You talk about a guy who's been an actor for a long time. He's been in, I guess he was way back in Remington Steele, Hill Street Blues, Cheers, Tales from the Dark Side, Mannequin, Perfect Strangers, LA Law, Webster, Roseanne. I mean, this guy is like.
He's done a lot of TV.
Oh,
yeah. Cheers.
Tons of TV.
Oh, Family Matters, Matlock, Step by Step. I like Step by Step.
Star Trek,
when
Deep Space Nine.
From England, Step by Step was one of the shows that was still on. It was still on TV
really?
Around that time. Because it was on the TGI Friday lineup.
This guy,
1996.
Family Matters, Beverly Hills 90210, Wayans Brothers, ER, Grace Under Fire, Malcolm and Eddie, Ally McBeal, King of the Hill.
Everybody was Raymond.
Yeah, and then you get.
Malcolm in the Middle is one of the shows that they're trying to revive. You know, they're
Bryan Cranston's trying to revive it. Yeah.
That's
I love that show. I thought that show was fantastic.
I love that show too. I thought it was amazing. That show 1 Peabody, 7 Emmys, 1 Grammy, and 7 Golden Globes.
I don't know that any other show has ever done that. That's a lot.
I don't know either. It was one of the best. It's got to be one of the best of all time for sure. It has to be one of the best of all time.
And then what has to be the pinnacle of his career? He was Principal Weeby on Hannah Montana. So,
oh wow,
that's got to be. I've been
reading a lot of
right
controversy about Nickelodeon.
Oh yeah,
it's been a trending topic. Yeah, well, everybody, this is kind of old news, but one of the main producers of all those kids shows had like a foot fetish.
Oh,
and if you go back and look at a lot of these shows, like Sam and Cat with Ariana Grande and that one girl that was from the iCarly show.
Yeah.
iCarly show is one of them. And there's like a lot of weird scenes where they have their feet and they're just doing, it's just weird stuff related to feet in these kids shows.
No.
And it kind of the drama resurfaced again because Nickelodeon has said that they want to move away from female dominant characters in cartoons because little boys won't want to watch them. Kind of they're back on that kind of thing. And it was funny because somebody from Cartoon Network, I don't know if it was somebody actually affiliated with Cartoon Network or just a parody Twitter, but they posted a big huge like picture of all of the female protagonists in all of the Cartoon Network shows, because Cartoon Network doesn't really shy away from, they're all about animation more so than catering, I feel like, to a certain demographic. Over the last like 15 years or so, they got away from worrying about animation to worrying about targeting kids for animation.
Yeah.
But from what I understand, with all the new changes and stuff like that that's happened within Cartoon Network recently, they're supposed to be bringing it back to focusing again on purely focusing on animation to be consumed instead of targeting it just for kids or whatever. So yeah, Nickelodeon, a lot of drama with Nickelodeon. So maybe let's not watch some of those Nickelodeon shows.
Bwaaa tracks fight all through the night, deep in the heart of Texas.
Next on our list, The Man Who Shot Kane Scrittenberg.
Yeah, this has some good ones on it. Yeah, this has some really good ones.
Yeah, it's got the three main. You
get Jim Cummings again with Topsy. Jim Cummings is the famous voice actor who does a lot of Winnie the Pooh stuff.
Well, you got the three.
He's prolific.
Yeah,
sure. He does all of the Winnie the Pooh Tigger stuff.
The main thing is the three guys from Green Day. You've got Billy Joe Armstrong, you've got Trey Cool, and you've got Mike Dirnt, and then Greg Daniels playing Booby, the other person in the band.
Oh yeah. You get the Green Day folks for the band. Yeah. Which there's a point in that episode where there's a song on TV where Luann is fixing Bobby's hair. The song is called Prosthetic Head, which is the final track from Green Day's 97 album Nimrod.
Wow. That's cool.
Which is something that I didn't get that last time when we ran through the show. So there you go. At least I don't think I did. I don't think I had that tidbit then. So there you go, a little pop for you guys.
The other person in this is Castillo Guerrera. I think I'm saying his first name correct. Castillo. He's been in a bunch of stuff, mostly as an actor though. I mean, we're talking.
He's an Argentinian actor, yeah.
Yeah, we're talking.
He was in The Usual Suspects.
Yeah, he's been in a lot of stuff. Burn Notice, did a lot of TV, of course. CSI Miami, things like that. So he is.
Deathstroke, Knights and Dragons. That's supposed to be a really good web series. I've never seen it, but I've heard good things about it. He does a voice on it.
Oh yeah. The next one is The Son That Got Away, and there's only one guest star on this, but one of the funniest guys I think that's been around, John Ritter as Eugene Grandy.
Oh, John Ritter, yeah, I really that's one of those ones we lost too soon. I feel like in comedy. I don't know. He just you get a real good feel watching his comedy, specifically the show that he did right before he died, the teenage daughter show that he had.
Yeah.
I remember watching that just because he was on it, and I don't know, it's just when you watch him, you just don't, you can't feel like, you can't help but smile. It's kind of like the Norm Macdonald feel, you know what I mean?
Oh,
Like
sure.
they just seem like super sweet people. They just you could tell that the people that they were around, if you were upset or you were sad, they were trying to do anything they could to make you feel better about whatever was going on. That's what I like about him. He has that kind of quality when you're watching him.
John Ritter was just one of those guys that became a really good actor too. I mean, there's
that too. Yeah,
there's nothing better than John Ritter in Sling Blade. I mean,
that's what I was gonna mention that. Yeah, Sling Blade, which is funny because I think in an episode in this season, you get an episode with Billy Bob Thornton and Dwight Yoakam in it. So it's kind of funny. You get John Ritter, and then in a couple of episodes, I think you get I'm pretty sure there's an episode in this season with those two in it. But
when did Sling Blade come out?
Sling Blade,
96.
Sling Blade 96. So it would be like right around this time. It'd be right around this time.
So it makes
and I imagine with you got to think you got to think Mike Judge, who think of what he creates. I feel like that would be a movie. I'm not going to speak for him, but I feel like that would be a movie that he would be drawn to based on his the stuff that I've watched that Mike Judge has created.
I just wonder if
that would be something.
I just wonder if these guys met here. I mean, because I don't know that John Ritter and Billy Bob Thornton would be hanging out in the same circles otherwise,
Yeah, you did. Well, I don't know. That's what that when I talked to whenever we had the interview with Jay and Nicole, that was kind of one of the things they said. It's like everybody's kind of worked with everybody if you've been in the industry, so maybe they did kind of know each other.
Yeah, maybe so.
But either way, that movie couldn't have been a better put together movie. And I think the fact that Billy Bob Thornton, that's like his magnum opus, you know what I mean? He helped write it. The short that they made is a pretty good short because there was a short before there was the movie. They had like a little test thing that they did with it. And then he decided he wanted to run with the show. But it's that creepy scene at the beginning where the guy is talking about a transvestite.
Mm-hmm.
And that is the original skit is him talking to the girls and telling them the story, and then that guy talking crazy like that to him. That's the very beginning of the short too, which is also the beginning of the movie. But that's one of my probably top 5 favorites, honestly. Forrest Gump, Sling Blade. That's like top tier film.
That's an afternoon for you right there.
Easy afternoon too. Yeah.
So
add Tombstone in there, and that's a weekend almost.
Tombstone. The next one, and this is going to be our last one, so we'll have to do this in 2 parts for season 2.
Yeah, part 2. Yeah, season 2 is really, really long. Of course, yeah, we got.
It is. There's a lot.
It's like a lot. 20 plus. It's like 20 plus episodes.
But this is a big one. The Company Man. That's a
big one. You're right.
Billy West as Mr. Holloway had Emmett Walsh as Buck Strickland, who. Emmett Walsh, all-time actor, like from way, way back. Then you had Stockard Channing, Stockard Channing.
I know exactly who Emmett Walsh is. Mm-hmm. Emmett Walsh is the train driver on Wild Wild West.
Oh, yeah.
That's funny. That's the only one I can remember him from outside of he did a voice on a movie that came out on my birthday, August the 6th, 1999. It was The Iron Giant. He does a voice on that. So that's where I recognize him from, is that and from Wild Wild West.
The
Iron quote Giant. Unquote. That's a beautiful movie.
Iron Giant's one of my wife's favorite movies. I had a painting commissioned for her.
Oh wow!
Giant.
Yeah, you're gonna have to show me a picture of that. I want to see that.
Yeah, it's a cool.
That's
painting.
That's one of my top 5 animated films.
But
you gotta have your categories and your genres of your top 5s. That's definitely one of my top 5 animated movies.
Emmett Walsh is one of those guys. He had like a 60-year career. I mean, the guy has been. He's been in TV and movies since Jesus was walking around. So
I'll quote Roger Ebert here. He said that no movie featuring either Harry Dean Stanton or Emmett Walsh in a supporting role can be altogether bad. So
that's true. That's true, because you get to watch them
and he's still alive too. So
he
don't take him too soon from his guys. Yeah,
Well, I mean, he's been in just. I mean, good God, you look at the stuff that he's been in.
From 1969, yeah.
Oh my gosh!
Just the film that he's been in.
Just
he was in. I mean, the Planet of the Apes. He was a part of the Planet of the Apes series.
He was in The Jerk.
The
for
Airport
God's sake.
77. The Jerk. Yeah, The Jerk. That's a good one. Yeah. Blade Runner. That's a good one. Blade Runner. I don't recognize a lot of these because I'm only so old. I remember him in George. He was George Henderson. Yeah, that's one I remember him in.
Yeah.
He was George Henderson.
My favorite quote from The Jerk. First, I'm in the phone book, and now I'm on your ass. So that's my favorite quote.
He was in that weird Romeo and Juliet film with Leonardo DiCaprio, and was it Kate Winslet that he did that with?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I believe so. I don't know.
No. It was Claire Danes. It was Claire Danes. No, it was just the reason why I remember it is because it was around it was like, I think it came out. When did it come out? It came out in 1996. Well, I remember like in like 6th grade, I was like real into reading poetry and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. And the teacher somehow managed to get it approved or just didn't care and just played the movie. So we got to watch Romeo and Juliet because it's the actual Romeo and Juliet.
Yeah,
like
it's the actual
the
thing.
Whole
just
actual
brought
original
into
play.
Those times, yeah.
Just really like, I really thought it was cool. And they're like, put down your sword. And they're sitting there pointing guns at each other. Mm-hmm. So as a kid, you were just like, I was really hyped for the movie as a teenager, young preteen. It was a really good movie.
And then Stockard Channing, one of my favorites. She's one of my favorites. She's been in a ton of stuff. She had her own show. Rizzo. She had her own show on Fox for a while. That was
she did. Stockard Channing had a show.
Yeah.
I need to find. I gotta go back and put that on the list of things I need to go back and watch. I remember her specifically on, of course, Grease. Mm-hmm. But there's a movie that my wife loves to watch. It's with I can't remember what her name is. It's a movie about the chick that got pregnant and lived in a Walmart. Like her boyfriend leaves her at the Walmart or whatever.
Oh yeah.
And she played Queen Amidala. I can't remember her name. Oh my gosh. Whatever her name is. That's Stockard Channing's in that movie too. That's one of my wife's favorite movies.
But the big one here.
Gonna kill me what the name of that is.
The big one here is M.F. Atherton, Burt Reynolds. Burt Reynolds playing M.F. Atherton. Yeah. Burt Reynolds has been in some of the really good movies, and Burt Reynolds has been in some really bad movies.
Yeah, he's been in some corny movies. But I guess when you've been in movies as long as he has, and I'm sure he didn't have the best of spending habits at some parts of his careers. You gotta get Where the Heart is the name of the movie I was talking about. Natalie Portman and Stockard Channing, Ashley Judd and Joan Cusack. There you go.
Yeah.
That's this all-star cast. But yeah, no, I don't Burt Reynolds. So for me, I guess my favorite movie that I really like of Burt Reynolds is The Best Little Whorehouse in Texas.
Best Little Whorehouse in Texas is great, but
that's one of my favorite movies.
The first Smokey and the Bandit is probably
Smokey and the Bandit, yeah.
That's probably like his pinnacle. I mean, he did a lot of stuff after that, and he did a lot of stuff before it. But I mean, when you put a movie on his tombstone, it's going to be Smokey and the Bandit, I would think.
Yeah, I think so too. It'd be Smokey and the Bandit, definitely.
I don't think it's going to be Sharky's Machine.
I don't think it's going to be. Well, I don't know. Deliverance.
Yeah,
because that was his real breakthrough. So Deliverance,
Deliverance, and then of course his defining role in Boogie Nights. So
nice, yeah. Well, I did like the original Longest Yard. That was okay.
Yeah, that's true. Good. Longest Yard's good. Yeah, I'm just saying he's been in some good stuff. I mean, Gator.
But we could go back and probably name some corny stuff. Navajo Joe.
Oh yeah. Yeah, he's been in. He was in just about anything he could be in the late 80s, 90s. Anything that got.
He was trying to hold on to his relevance from the 70s all the way through the 80s.
And you see that with a lot of guys. I mean, Bruce Willis is one of my all-time favorites, but he's made some real crap. But
at the very end, for sure.
Yeah,
and now we know why he was in, because people were. Actually, it was the Razzies, isn't that what they're called?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
The ones that do or is that for porn?
No. Razzies is regular. Yeah.
Razzies. Okay, I was making sure because I know. Oh, well, the Razzies even rescinded an award that they give out, because that once his condition was released, which is sad to hear, and we're losing a great actor, because he really played in some really good stuff. Obviously, one of my favorites of his was the what is it, the ones with the assassins? It's like they're all assassins or something. It was like kind of one of his.
Oh, you mean those 33 movies that he made that had assassins in it?
No, I don't think it was the 33 ones. Never mind. It was the one with Matt. What's his name?
I just remember him from. He's always going to be Moonlighting to me. The guy from Moonlighting.
Yeah, Moonlighting. Yeah, loved Moonlighting. That was a little bit before me.
Yeah,
so
I
really missed that one. But
but
for me, it was like 12 Monkeys, The Fifth Element, Armageddon, The Sixth Sense. All that stuff. Red, that was the one I was thinking of. Red and Red 2. Those are the two.
Oh, yeah, Assassins. I get what you're saying. Yeah. The thing that
the Last Boy Scout, that was a really good one.
The thing that I completely forgot about with Burt Reynolds was Evening Shade. It was a TV show that he had on for almost 100 episodes. I mean, the guy was on for a long time. That was a CBS.
Who was the one? He wasn't Knight Rider, was he?
No.
Who was Knight Rider? Who played a Knight Rider?
That's the man who eats hamburgers off the floor. David Hasselhoff.
Oh, yeah, that was David Hasselhoff. Yeah. Michael Knight, Team Knight Rider. Yeah.
I keep seeing this, and this has nothing to do with that. I just said hamburger. But I keep watching these news bloopers, right, to go to sleep. And I got to tell you, they don't make enough news bloopers, by the way.
No, they don't.
I did a quick shout out to news bloopers. I was watching a reel the other night that I hadn't seen, and guess who pops up in the middle of that reel? It's Pete. It's Pete Sousa, just right in the middle of the. Right in the middle.
Oh wow! Yeah, he's famous. Yeah, Pete Sousa's famous.
Yeah. But I keep watching
all over the world,
and I keep seeing this one, and this only has to do with hamburgers. But this guy throws it to the female anchor there who's going to talk about traffic or something. And he goes, and now to the Hamburglar. And he switches over to her, and she's got this black and white top on. And it's just so cruel.
That's funny.
It's not even a blooper. It's a guy just being a jerk. But it was very good. All right, man. Well, that's it for this one. I think we've probably bored enough people out. But this is guest stars, and we did season 2, part 1.
Yeah, season 2, part 1.
Yep, we did How to Fire a Rifle Without Really Trying, all the way up through The Company Man, and we'll pick that back up another Friday. You want to tell them where they can find us?
Yeah, you can find us anywhere at BWAAAKOTH. You could also, we have a link tree now, so you go to Linktree. That's linktr.ee/BWAAAKOTH, and that has all of our links there. And you can also go over to roguemedianetwork.com and catch us too. Also, I've only gotten one submission so far, so by default, the guy will win the shirt if nobody else wants to do it. I can't not send him a shirt for being the only one to do it. But we have one AI generated story so far. So
yeah, we need some more.
Don't forget to get those submissions in. It's BWAAAKOTH@gmail.com. Don't forget to get those submissions in while you can. Otherwise, this guy's going to win a shirt.
Any AI story submission, and as long as it doesn't have anything to do with sex.
No sex. I don't think the terms of service on those AI generations let them do that anyway. So they might be able to make something erotic, but it won't be like super sexual. It won't let you say penis or anything or like that.
It won't let you say prompts. Penis. Yeah.
So
that's good.
You won't be able to say penis.
That's good.
You might be able to say member. They might be able to say
junk.
member or junk tool. Or all what. Those little cheesy Western porn books have some really good terminologies for
cheesy Western porn books. What are you talking about?
That other podcast that you guys have.
Oh, you're talking about Bustles and Bangers.
Boobies and Bustles and Bangers. I was going to say titty tassels and whiskey. I didn't know what you called it. I couldn't remember what it was called.
That one has not started yet, but it will. It will start after the first.
Oh, well, there you go. That's a teaser. There you go, guys. That's a teaser for the start of the year for Bustles and Bangers, which talks. It's a
or titty twirlers and whiskey, whichever.
Yeah, titty twirlers and whiskey, where they discuss.
Yeah, it's a married
Western
couple.
romance novels.
It's a married couple, and they read trashy romance novels and to each other.
I think it's going to be funny.
It's a lot more than you think it is. So.
Say goodbye to your credit card rewards. Big box retailers, led by Walmart and Target, are pushing for a bill in Congress to take away your hard-earned cash back and travel points to line their pockets. Senate Bill 1838 would enact harmful credit card routing mandates that would end credit card rewards as we know it. If you love your credit card rewards, visit handsoffmyrewards.com and tell them to oppose credit card routing legislation paid for by the Electronic Payments Coalition.
So we are going to continue with this season 2.
Our second episode of the new year.
Yeah. This will be our season 2.
Well, actually, technically third.
Well, that's true.
Yeah,
you're right.
We had the episode on day 1 of the year.
So we are covering the guest stars on King of the Hill season 2. This is part 2 of that because it's such a extensive list.
It is. It was a really big list. We didn't think it was going to be that big, but we started going through it, and sure enough, it was more than one episode worth of voices.
Yeah, there are a lot of people in this thing. So let's start with the unbearable blindness of laying. We have 3 different people in this one, and this is a big one to start. We have Chuck Mangione.
Chuck Mangione, which we have discussed him at length multiple times.
Flugelhorn, correct?
So he is a flugelhorn player.
Yeah. Chuck Mangione, big in the 70s. Did
big on King of the Hill.
Did a few songs. Yep. I think he did a fine job on this show, and I think it's so funny that they include him as like part of the crowd.
Superb job. Yeah.
Then we get Carl Reiner as Gary Kasner again.
Carl Reiner, yeah. We talked about him.
Yeah, this is again, right? This is the second time.
This is again. Yeah, we've talked about Carl Reiner before. And Carl Reiner's popped up because he plays the voice of Stepdad
Gary,
Stepdad King of the Hill, Gary Chandler.
No,
his name?
Gary
Not Chandler. That's an actual human being.
Gary Kasner, yeah. And then the biggest one, I think, as Tilly Hill, Tammy Wynette.
Tammy Wynette, yeah.
Tammy Wynette, famous
country singer. Just recently passed away. She was the coal miner's daughter.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. No,
that was
she was.
No, that's not Tammy Wynette.
That's Loretta Lynn.
Yeah, that's Loretta Lynn.
Yeah. Tammy Wynette, never mind. Tammy Wynette was
a pet store's daughter.
Yeah, she was the pet store.
No, I don't know.
You don't know. You just made
I just made something up.
Well, she was a famous country singer. She died in '98.
She was huge.
She was huge. She, I want to say she had over 20 singles on the Billboard country chart during her career, which is huge. Her signature song, which for me the biggest memory I have surrounding her signature song is the Blues Brothers. So in the movie The Blues Brothers, they end up, they're blues musicians, but they end up at a country bar in this movie.
Yeah.
And they don't know any country songs.
Oh, you're talking about Stand By Your Man.
Stand By Your Man. So the only country songs that they knew were Stand By Your Man and Rawhide.
Yeah.
From that was on a TV show, right? Wasn't that like a theme song for a TV show?
Well, the song was also on the top 50, I think.
Yeah. So that's Tammy Wynette, born in Mississippi.
Yeah, she Stand By Your Man was her big song, and it's a hell of a song too. And to watch the Blues Brothers do it is
her dad
amazing.
was a cotton farmer, so she actually she grew up picking cotton on the family farm in Mississippi.
That's cool. All right, so the next one we've got is one of my favorite episodes, which is Meet the Manger Babies. I know you're not a big fan of it, but it is one of my favorites.
It's a cringy episode.
We have Troy Aikman as himself.
Troy Aikman,
who just shows up for some reason at the Manger Babies.
He does, yeah, he's there.
We have Peebo Bryson as the anthem singer.
Peebo
Bryson.
He was
he's a singer,
yeah.
R&B type singer.
Can you stop the rain?
He was pretty big at one point.
Yeah, he actually. I want to say that he was in Aladdin. He sung some stuff in Aladdin. Yeah, he did. He did. Really? He contributed to 2. It was 2 Disney featured soundtracks that he did. So he sang. A Whole New World.
Did he?
He sung A Whole New World.
Come on.
He sung Beauty and the Beast with Celine Dion.
Really?
Yeah.
That's Peebo Bryson?
It's Peebo Bryson.
Wow. Much bigger than I thought he was.
He did 4 duets with Regina Bell for Disney. He did Without You, I Can't Imagine, A Whole New World, and Total Praise. And I think those were all in Aladdin. But that's Regina Bell.
And then we have Debbie Derryberry as Kid. I do not know Debbie Derryberry. Debi Derryberry.
An American voice actress.
Debbie Derryberry.
She has provided voices for a number of animation and video games. So
Debbie Derryberry sounds like a character.
Let's go ahead and hit her real quick because she's
prolific.
Prolific as far as animation and stuff that I've watched personally. So you've got Bobby's World. You've got the Addams Family from the 90s. She was in All Real Monsters. She was in Life with Louie.
Oh, yeah.
She played Judy Shepard in the animated Jumanji show. She did some voices on Cow and Chicken. She was Misinformation on South Park, if anybody knows who that is on South Park. The Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy, Castle in the Sky, Curious George.
Wow.
Monster High, Be Cool, Scooby-Doo.
She's the person.
Family. There you go. That's one. She plays Maureen Murphy in F is for Family.
She's kind of the person that you picture in your head when you say, I want to be like a voiceover artist.
Yeah. And then it even goes to anime. She was in anime. Yeah. She did Tenchi, Tenchi Muyo, Tenchi Universe, Tenchi in Tokyo, Sailor Moon in the 2015. She played Diana in Sailor Moon. And then it even goes to film. She was in, she did voices in Aladdin. She did the puppies in Babe. In Toy Story, she was the aliens. She was the troll. She was the voice on the intercom at Pizza Planet. Again, she reprises the aliens in Toy Story 2. She did Jimmy Neutron in the movie Jimmy Neutron Boy Genius.
Wow.
Just prolific. She did
good job, Derryberry.
Direct to video and television movies.
She's the original Jimmy?
No, not the original Jimmy. She played Jimmy in the movie.
She's Jimmy too.
Well, the movie came first.
Did it?
Yeah.
Debbie Derryberry.
Oh, no, I take that back. The Adventures of Jimmy Neutron, Boy Genius. Yes, she was the voice of Jimmy Neutron. I overlooked that when I was scrolling through. And actually, she was the voice of JJ in JJ the Jet Plane.
Debbie Derryberry.
Debbie Derryberry.
She played Kid.
She did video games.
That was a character. Kid.
So let's hit her video games, because her video games is kind of prolific as far as video games for me. So she was in Crash Bandicoot.
She was the voice of the ball and Pong.
She did Coco Bandicoot. She played Jimmy Neutron's voice in a variety of games. She was in some Nicktoons games, of course, doing Jimmy Neutron's voice. She played Coco Bandicoot, which is over a lot of the
Crash's
video
little sister.
Games. Yeah,
that's Crash's little sister.
Yeah. She played Crash's little sister.
She also played the straight line in Tetris. She was.
Well, she's done every version of Jimmy Neutron's voice in every place he's ever popped up in video games, TV shows, movies. So I guess that's her claim to fame. She's Jimmy.
The last one on the Manger Babies episode, we've got Maurice LaMarche again as
Maurice
Reverend
LaMarche.
Thomason.
We've already talked about him.
Yeah, good God, Maurice LaMarche. He is very prolific, and he's with King of the Hill for a while.
Yep, and again, my favorite one of his is the Brain from Pinky and the Brain, which a lot of his voice actors, a lot of the voices that he does are kind of in the same vein as what's the person's name? It talked about it here. Orson Welles. So he used Orson Welles. He channeled Orson Welles for the Brain and for a few of his other characters too. You could see he uses the impression. So when he does Brain, that's what it is. It is a Welles impression. So
that's very good. Yeah, Orson Welles was something else.
Well, if you have ever watched Pinky and the Brain, like actually watched it, a lot of the episodes kind of have hints and nods to things that Orson Welles was attached to during his
they have
career.
A lot of old film stuff too.
Yeah.
All right,
that's
next
an
one.
amazing show, by the way. The whole Animaniacs thing,
okay.
And I think it was because of. Well, it was amazing for me as a child anyway. I think it was because of who created it. It was a Steven Spielberg creation.
Yeah. It was an Amblin Entertainment thing.
It was definitely a very you could tell that whoever created that show was a huge fan of film and cinema.
Yes, absolutely. Well, I think that whole series, it was all like throwback because it's on the lot, and all that stuff. They're on the Warner Brothers lot. There is nothing better though than them singing the capitals of cities and stuff.
Yeah. And one of the things that I didn't know, which is kind of funny, is he actually voiced Alec Baldwin in Team America World Police.
Oh, really?
Have you ever seen that? He was actually Alec Baldwin.
Yeah.
Yeah, he actually did Alec Baldwin's voice in that. So.
Next one is I Remember Mono. This is the one where Peggy gets mono and she has to end up telling Hank about it finally.
Yeah, that was a good episode.
We get Joanna Gleason as Maddie Platter. And then we get Jennifer Jason Leigh, who was a fairly decent star as far as Brat Pack stuff goes when I was a kid. She is Amy. And then you get the one and only Carrie Strug as herself from the Olympics. Because Bobby doesn't he give her a flower?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, he was in love with her. All right, so we'll start with the top. You mentioned Joanna Gleason first.
Yes.
So she's a Canadian. She's Canadian.
Canuck.
But not only that, she is Tony Award-winning musical theatrical actress, and she's been in a few notable things. So what she's best known for was originating the role of the baker's wife in the Stephen Sondheim's Into the Woods. That's where she actually gets her Tony from. But she's been in films, too. She was in Woody Allen's Hannah and Her Sisters, Woody Allen's Crime and Misdemeanors she was in as well.
Yeah.
She was also in Paul Thomas Anderson's Boogie Nights.
Oh, wow.
And then she had various roles on Friends, The West Wing, The Good Wife.
Who was she in Boogie Nights?
In Boogie Nights, let's see. She was Dirk's mom in Boogie Nights. She played Dirk Dickler's mom, yeah. And she also she did some so for her film, she didn't play in a lot of stuff, but she was in Mr. Holland's Opus. That was the one that I know. Heartburn. I'm gonna
tell everybody a big secret.
What's that?
Oh wait, that's the wrong film. Never mind. I'm not telling you a secret.
Wrong secret.
Jennifer Jason Leigh, is she not the one that was in Howard the Duck?
Jennifer Jason Leigh was
Isn't that correct?
Let's see here. She was in, you said Howard the Duck.
Howard the Duck.
That's going to be a big filmography.
Yeah, I believe. Yeah. She was in it. She's been in a ton of stuff.
No,
she
wasn't
still
in Howard the Duck. It doesn't show that on there.
She was in The Hateful Eight. That's all I've ever seen her in.
Yeah,
really?
So what I know that she was in that Fast Times. She played Stacy in Fast Times at Ridgemont High.
Yeah.
That's the one I know.
Yeah.
She played in let's see, Backdraft. That's one I remember. That was the firefighter movie with what's his name, Kurt Russell. She was in that.
Leah Thompson, who I was thinking.
Yeah,
of.
Leah Thompson.
Yeah.
She was in Single White Female. That movie, I remember that movie.
Yeah, that was a big one.
She was in Rush. I remember that one. Let's see here. Hey Arnold. She played in the Hey Arnold movie. She was a voice in it. Road to Perdition. That's one of a good Tom Hanks movie she was in. She was in The Machinist, which is a really
Machinist is a good one. Where what's his face lost all that weight.
Yeah, Christopher Bale. It's a really good
Christian Bale.
Christian Bale. Yeah, it's a really good character.
She's also in Dolores Claiborne.
Oh, okay. She was in that one. All right. So she was also in what was a really, really, really award-winning movie that was done by, I want to say, it was a Quentin Tarantino movie. It was Samuel L. Jackson, Kurt Russell, Jennifer Jason Leigh. It had
I said The Hateful Eight.
Is that what you just said?
Yeah.
Oh,
okay.
Oh, that was the first one you said. I didn't hear you say that. My bad. I misheard what you said. So yeah, she was in the Hateful Eight. Yeah. And she was nominated for she was nominated for every supporting actress role from every film association you could think of. You've got the Academy Award, the Golden Globe, the BAFTA, the AACTA, the Austin Film Critics, the Awards Circuit Community Awards, the Broadcast Film Critics, Central Ohio, Chicago, Dallas-Fort Worth, Denver, Detroit, Florida, Georgia. She was on every award list for Best Supporting Actress of the Year in 2015.
She's been in a lot of stuff. I just remember her as kind of part of that Brat Pack
Well, another movie that's really, really good of hers. I don't know if you've seen it yet, Mike, but it's a Bryan Cranston film, LBJ, where Bryan Cranston plays Lyndon Baines Johnson. Yeah. You need to go watch that one. She plays Lady Bird in that.
Really?
Yeah, she plays
Lady
Bird
Johnson. She was on
Johnson.
Weeds for a while too. Weeds is a great show. That was a very good.
That was
TV
an amazing show.
Yeah.
That was a really, really good show. Yeah, she did.
Yeah, she was on there for like 3 years.
I tried watching Weeds.
Yeah,
well, I thought it was okay. I'm not hating on it.
She was her sister.
I
right?
started watching it for a bit, just because my mom and her roommates at the time watched it.
Right.
I was like, oh, this seems interesting. What is it about? And I couldn't follow it. I was too dumb at the time.
It's just about weed.
Yeah, it's just.
I didn't know what weed was.
Well, okay, I got you. So
why are they fighting over these grass clippings?
That show came out at the height of my excitement about weed, like right when I graduated high school.
My
and I realized,
excitement about weed.
Well, I mean, I graduated high school, and like once you graduate high school, it was like that big lift of, oh, my parents aren't in control of my life anymore, And I watched the crap out of that show. That was one of my favorite shows on TV at the time.
What else has Carrie Strug been in anything else?
Carrie Strug, well, she's got some popular culture stuff. She did a cameo in 90210.
Clueless.
She was in. She was referenced in Sabrina the Teenage Witch. She was referenced in BoJack Horseman.
Touched by an Angel.
Yeah. She was referenced in Community. They referenced her in Murphy Brown.
Yeah.
She was referenced in.
That's kind of cool though. I mean, she, the thing that she was known for was the gymnastics stuff in the Olympics.
Yeah. Well,
she's the one
Roseanne
that broke her
joke.
She's the one that broke her ankle and then finished anyway and was carried off by her Russian trainer.
Is crazy. But she was there's a Roseanne joke. So Roseanne, there's an episode called Roseanne where she flips the roof off of a train car, or she flips off the roof of a train car and lands on her feet. And when she lands, Roseanne says, "Eat your heart out, Carrie Strug." So she's in that. And she actually has a voice cameo in a I've never heard of this. It's a spinoff of Harvey Birdman, attorney at law, called Bird Girl.
Yeah, it's a story. It's his daughter takes over.
That has to be new, right?
It's new. It's I think it's still going. They only started like 2018, I think.
So
it's on HBO Max.
Okay, I'm gonna have to check that out then because I really liked Harvey Birdman a lot. Yeah, it is, isn't it? Well, they've the one. Well, you got to think HBO Max has all the Hanna-Barbera stuff, and Bird Girl is all Hanna-Barbera.
Oh, sure, yeah,
stuff.
All right, next we have 3 Days at the Condo, or of the Condo. We have Castulo Guerrera as the magistrate. But the biggest one, I believe, here is Paul Rodriguez as Jacinto.
Oh, P-Rod. I know his son more than him. So his son is a professional skateboarder. And
he was a big comedian in the 80s.
Yeah,
80s,
so
90s.
P-Rod.
He did real well.
Never... the only thing that I've ever seen him in is in 2002, coming up off of the original Kings of Comedy. It was Bernie Mac, and that movie, The Kings of Comedy, had Bernie Mac, and
it was a whole tour.
Yeah, it was a whole tour. Well, in response to that, the Latin comedians did one, and it was called The Original Latin Kings of Comedy, and he was in that, and that's the first place I ever seen him because it was
Paul Rodriguez was around for a long time.
It was like all the big Latin comedians. You had Paul Rodriguez. It was like George Lopez, Joey Medina, and Alex Raimundo. And I don't know. I think that was a really good movie. If you like stand up comedy, I feel like you gotta go watch that one.
Castulo Guerrera, we talked about him on the last episode.
Yeah, we did.
He's been in Terminator 2, Usual Suspects, The Mexican. He's been in a lot of stuff, and he does a lot of voices, especially for like Deathstroke, I believe.
Yeah. He was also in The Usual Suspects. He was in Terminator 2. The critically acclaimed Beverly Hills Chihuahua 2. Roger and Ebert gave that one about 4,000 thumbs up.
Sure. They gave him all the dog thumbs.
Yeah. It's a masterpiece.
Bwaaa trash fight all through the night, deep in the heart of Texas.
Next, we have Traffic Jam. This one, of course, is the big one with Chris Rock in it as Roger Budasak.
Wait, who?
Chris Rock.
I don't know.
Chris
I was going
Rock.
to say something stupid. Never mind.
Well,
we all know who Chris Rock is.
Yeah, we all know who Chris Rock is.
Will
and
Smith's
me and
punching
Mike
bag.
actually, me and Mike actually have gotten to have an interview and speak with Chris Rock's ex-publicist.
Yeah,
somebody that's real close with him and that's worked with him a lot in our Letterman endeavor that we were on at the beginning of the year. We got to talk to him.
Man, I started working here too late.
Just a little bit.
We spoke to a guy who saw Chris Rock one time.
Yeah, no, we actually actually spoke to somebody who could call Chris Rock from their cell phone. Like shout out to Nicole and Jay Ryan from California.
You know, the other big name in this is John Amos. John Amos was a huge African American actor. He was in Coming to America and Die Hard 2. He's been in a bunch of stuff. And John Amos is one of those guys.
Amos, yeah.
Yeah, when you see his face, you know who he is.
Yeah, I know exactly who he is. Right? I don't even have to see his face. I know who he is because he was on Good Times. He was James Senior on Good Times.
Yeah, you've seen him in a billion things.
He's one of my favorite because he was in Coming to America too, and that was funny as hell. That was super funny, his role in that. But he's prolific. He was a Broadway guy, and he was actually on the Mary Tyler Moore Show.
Yes, he was.
And he was also on the West Wing too. He was Admiral Percy Fitzwallace.
Then we have Amy Hill, who played Mrs. Kalika.
Which Amy Hill, guys, is she is most notable for, she played a character on That's So Raven, but I feel like the most notable stuff for me would be she was Mama Toru on Jackie Chan. She was Miss Hasagawa on Lilo and Stitch, the TV series. And a lot of these TV series that I named that I had to watch were generally because my little sister at the time was attached to different shows and stuff, because I've seen shows that generally a teenage boy wouldn't watch, but since I was a teenage boy with a sister who was 6 years younger than me, I had to watch a lot of crap that I didn't want to. But she also she played Miss Kwan in Cat in the Hat, but the most notable role for me that she played in was Sue in 50 First Dates. So in 50 First Dates, Adam Sandler goes to this restaurant once he realizes that this girl she loses her mind every 24 hours. And one of the people that's trying to protect her is a woman named Sue. And she plays a Samoan restaurant. They own this restaurant, and they try to protect her from him. But she's been in a fair amount of stuff.
She's been a lot of stuff.
She generally plays an Asian role in everything that she's played in, because she's also
I think she's
stand-up comedian.
Islander, right?
Yeah, I believe so. No, actually,
Pacific
she was
Islander.
born in Deadwood, South Dakota.
Oh, wow. Okay.
But I think
her heritage is Pacific Island.
I think she is a Pacific Islander heritage. It doesn't really say anything about it here. Oh, she is a Japanese American. So she was born to a Japanese mother and a Finnish American father.
Gotcha.
And her father actually died in 1979 in an automobile accident, which has nothing to do with anything that we were talking about. But
we've got Jess Harnell, who also plays Toenail in this one. Jess Harnell is he's done a ton of voices. He was also in Animaniacs. He did some voices in Transformers and different things like that.
All American Girl. Did you ever see that show? Margaret Cho.
Oh yeah, no. I'm not a huge Margaret Cho fan.
Well, that's how that was her breakout, was playing the role of Grandmother Young Hee or Grandma Kim in the short-lived sitcom All American.
And then one of my favorites, Orlando Jones, is also in this. He's Kid
Orlando
Mookie.
Jones.
Orlando Jones has been in a buttload of stuff, but the first time I ever saw Orlando Jones, and I may have told this story before, he was picked as the guy who did a 7-Up commercial for the Super Bowl. Yep. And he would wear this T-shirt that says, what would it say? It was like, on the front of the shirt, it says make 7. On the back of the shirt, it says up yours. And so he would walk around and he didn't understand why people were pissed off at him, because the back of his shirt says up yours the whole time. I just thought that was fantastic.
Well, he's one of the original. He's the original. Was it, how many was there? There was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. He was one of the original 9 Mad TV hires when they first started.
Yes.
So
he was in Evolution with David Duchovny, and he was in the Time Machine, Drumline,
that's a good one.
Replacements. I mean, he's been in a ton of stuff. One of the best roles I thought he had was in American Gods. He was in that, which
that's
American
something
Gods
that
is an
I didn't know
show.
here. Okay, so man, this is rabbit holes that have pertain nothing to King of the Hill whatsoever. But I didn't know that Mad TV was produced by Quincy Jones.
Yeah,
he bought the magazine and then started the show, which I didn't know that. So I mean, I thought that was interesting. Oh yeah, he also
he didn't buy the magazine, did he?
Yeah, he bought the rights.
Bought Mad Magazine.
He bought the
maybe
rights.
bought the rights to it.
He bought because Mad Magazine didn't have like an era where it died for a little bit.
Oh yeah, that cracked both.
Yeah, so I think that's what ended up happening. It kind of had like that little bloop where it died, and then he went and bought it and went and bought the rights or whatever it was to it. But yeah, he definitely had a hand in that. But I really the show that I remember him from was he was on a TV show. Oh, what's it called? Let me see if I can find it real fast. He was a recurring. I think it was him anyway. I want to say it was a TV show with Amanda Bynes and him. I could be wrong.
I'm completely lost on that one.
Yeah, I'm lost too. You know, he's in that Ghost Whisperer crap that you have to watch.
I did not ever call it crap.
Oh, sorry.
I want Jennifer Love Hewitt to understand that I never called it
crap. He
never
called it crap. He loves the show. It's his favorite show. He watches it twice a day. But yeah, no, he was in there. He was on that show.
So our next one is Hank's Dirty Laundry. We've got Billy West.
Yep.
Famous voice actor.
Billy West is pretty prolific as far as the voice acting.
And then we have Lynn Thigpen playing the judge. And Lynn Thigpen, she's passed now, but she's been in some big stuff. She was in The Warriors, the original one, Bicentennial Man, Anger Management, Lean on Me. I mean, she's done a lot of stuff. She was a very...
Oh, yeah. She was the one that was in Where in World is Carmen Sandiego, pretty heavy. Mm-hmm. And she played the Moon. And it's funny that I get to discuss this because right now this was one of my wife's childhood shows that she liked. Mm-hmm. So she's been forcing it onto my, freshly born child. He's 9 months now. And, my son is almost as old as the podcast.
Oh, wow.
It was like, because remember, we were only in like beginning of season 1 when he was born.
Oh, yeah.
But Bear in the Big Blue House is a show that my wife has been putting on every day for my son. And
it's not a bad
she does
show.
The Moon. It's really not. It's kind of weird though how the show starts out. I never even knew it started out like this.
It's not bad though.
But
it's not.
He starts off sniffing.
Yeah.
And then he goes, "Well, something smells good. Yeah. Oh, it must be you."
Yeah.
And that's when he starts off the show. And
then he eats that child.
And he says, "Oh, you smell so sweet," or whatever. He comes up with a different scent, like what you smell like for every episode. But she also did a huge. She played a big role in Where in the World is Carmen Sandiego?
Where in the world is Carmen? All right, next one is Leanne Saga. Again, Joanna Gleason. We covered her already. One of my all-time favorites, though, Jennifer Coolidge as Ms. Kremser.
Jennifer Coolidge.
Yeah, she
prolific.
Jennifer Coolidge.
Did you see the SNL skit?
Yes.
Did you see the I don't know who did it. I don't know all the people's names either,
but Jennifer,
it was great, spot on.
Coolidge will always be Stifler's mom, and she will also always be the lady that owned the dogs in Best in Show. I
have to go back and watch some stuff of hers because
you want to see prime Jennifer Coolidge, watch Best in Show.
Best in Show. I'll watch that. I was just really surprised about as much stuff as that she was in.
Oh,
but I want everybody
and she's had like
to remember
a renaissance here lately.
Oh
too.
Yeah. She's on that new show or whatever.
Well, not only that, she's doing Old Navy commercials.
I think she did her memoirs recently too. That's why she's in pretty heavy. But everybody's got to remember, if it wasn't for her recurring role on King of the Hill, there's no telling where she would be.
Chloe Fineman is who played her in SNL.
Oh yeah, there you go.
Yeah,
good job.
There you go.
Good job.
Appreciate that. Yeah, because I don't know
funny.
the name.
She does
the
good impressions.
She was a part of the Groundlings. I've never heard of them.
By the way, you've never heard of the Groundlings? Really?
Nah. Well, I knew they were like
they're like one of the seminal improv groups of all time.
Yeah. I know they were like a historical, and then I know that
you talk about the Groundlings, you talk about Second City, and you talk about Upright Citizens Brigade. Those are like the ones. Those are the big ones.
Yeah, see, I'd never heard of them. And looking at their list of alumni, I mean, Will Ferrell.
Oh, it's a buttload. Yeah, it's basically so Second City, Chicago. Groundlings is L.A.
Lisa Kudrow. See, I didn't know that Lisa Kudrow participated in improv. Chris Parnell.
Yeah.
Yeah, Maya Rudolph. I didn't know she did.
They all came from the same group. Yeah.
That's crazy. Well, there you go.
Next one is Junkie Business. We have Bertilla Damas as Maria. We have Jim Dotrieve as Jason Adderley, and then we have Brent Forrester as Leon Petard.
Well, Bertilla, let's see here. She's a Cuban actress.
Mm-hmm. I think we've talked about her before.
Yeah. So it says here, so she began working in Spanish language theater while in college, and she was accepted to the Circle in the Square Theater in New York, which is a huge school there for theater actors. And she met someone named Terry Hayden, who got her interested in the actor studio. She worked on and off Broadway and then did regional theater. Her filmography is not very extensive. She was in Nothing But Trouble. Nothing But Trouble was the Dan Aykroyd one, right? Yeah.
Yes,
with him and Chevy Chase. Yeah, terrible movie. Yeah, Demi Moore. She was in Fires Within, Mi Vida Loca. Movies, I haven't heard of any of her movies, but her TV, let's see what she did in TV. She was in some Deep Space Nine. She did a little bit of, let's see here, NYPD Blue. Again, she was a Maria Montalvo in King of the Hill, and she was customer number 2. So she does 4 episodes of King of the Hill. So she does play as Maria Montalvo in more than one episode, and then whoever customer number 2 is. She did a little bit of ER. Yeah, she's just one of those.
She's done a lot.
Faces you see in 4 or 5 episodes of this show, or 2 or 3 episodes of this show.
One of the last ones I said was Brent Forrester. He is a writer, producer, director. He worked on The Office. He also worked on the Ben Stiller Show, and then King of the Hill, Space Force. I mean, he's worked on a ton of stuff.
Yeah, I see here that he wrote a bunch of Simpsons stuff too. He did a few episodes of The Simpsons.
He was also a contributing writer on Mr. Show with Bob and David.
Yeah. And then he co-wrote with Judd Apatow an episode for Undeclared.
Yeah,
which is, I think it's a Judd Apatow TV show.
It is. Yeah, it was about the same time as, I think, maybe right after Freaks and Geeks.
He wrote the merger episode.
Have you ever seen Freaks and Geeks?
I've seen Freaks and Geeks. I don't know how many times I've watched it.
Have you ever watched it, Mason? Have you ever watched Freaks and Geeks, this series?
Yeah, when I was younger. I thought it was okay.
It's a good show.
I think it's amazing because if you watch it, you look and you're like, okay, so this is where that person got their start. That person got their start. That person, like,
it is crazy seeing a 20-year-old Seth Rogen.
Oh yeah,
yeah. Seth, well, I don't even think he was 20. I think he was like 19. I think they were all like teenagers. They were all just barely 18, 19.
James Franco.
Yeah, and I think that
Jonathan Daly.
The distancing of James Franco and Seth Rogen is insane. Like, the second that James Franco had allegations brought up against him, which turned out to be, moderately true, not allegations, like real stuff. It's crazy how quick, like, Seth Rogen and everybody distanced themselves from him, because Seth Rogen will no longer he will no longer work with James Franco.
He also worked on The Stupids with Tom Arnold.
Oh, Tom
Which
Arnold.
The Stupids is a ridiculous movie. But it is like his biggest thing. Like, if you want to see top Tom Arnold, watch The Stupids.
Speaking of Tom Arnold, if you want a really, really good documentary to watch, go watch about Tom Arnold's sister. She was one of the largest methamphetamine dealers in the United States.
Oh, really?
I think it was Tom Arnold's sister, yeah.
You just said it like it was
I'm pretty sure it was Tom Arnold
thing, and then you said you thought it was her.
No, it is. Yeah, it's Tom Arnold's sister. So it's called Queen of Meth. Her name is Lori Arnold. Yeah, Queen of Meth is what they called her. She was, they're from Iowa. Yeah. So in that part of the world, there's nothing to do. So she became a meth dealer. Okay. Yeah, she really did. She did 15 years in prison. She was arrested by the DEA. When they arrested her, they seized over $10 million in assets from her.
Wow.
Yeah.
We also had Jim Dotrieve, which Jim I mentioned, and he is known
the namesake for Bill Dotrieve.
Well, he's known for King of the Hill. He's known for Bob's Burgers. He's done quite a bit of TV.
And the thing that he's most famous for these days
that's not even including The Sweet Life of Zach and Cody.
Well, the thing that he's most famous for these days, Mike, is dropping bombshells on people like us, because I actually am his friend on Facebook.
Yeah.
I'm actually Jim Dotrieve's friend on Facebook, and I've communicated with him once or twice. He drops literal bombs that blows people's minds. So the video that me and Mike discussed in one of our Friday episodes, the video of the real ending of King of the Hill, that little clip that we watched.
Yeah,
he's the one that.
He's the one that said it was out there.
Yeah, he's the one that put that out there.
Okay, so let's see if we can't get through the rest of these. We've got 3 more here. Life in the Fast Lane, Bobby's Saga. We have Tara Strong as Billy, which I don't know who Tara Strong is.
Harley Quinn. She's Harley Quinn.
Oh, is
Harley
she?
Quinn.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay. So
she also did Timmy.
Actor.
She did Timmy.
She's done a lot. She's
huge. Yeah,
you've heard her. Acting. If you've seen anything animated, you've heard her voice at least once.
Wow.
Yeah, so she
in the last 20 years.
She has a filmography page that you have to click on. So she has a whole separate filmography page. So for her animation, she played Hello Kitty. She's done Hello Kitty's voice. She was like 4 or 5 characters in the Care Bears in the 80s. Patty Putty in the Garbage Pail Kids.
Patty Putty.
Chloe and Madeline. She played young Celeste in Babar. She was in Beetlejuice. Let's see more notable shows.
Who the heck was she in this? In this episode?
Oh, in this episode?
It says Billy.
Billy, which is probably one of
the the first kid,
maybe.
Bob.
Yeah,
maybe.
Yeah, she's done a lot of stuff. She did Bubbles' voice in the Powerpuff Girls. She did some voices on Pepper Ann, Family Guy, Giggling Girl in Clerks, the animated series. She played she done Wild Thornberries. One of the bigger ones that she's known for, of course, is The Fairly Odd Parents. She did Timmy Turner's voice. I'm trying to see some other big ones. She just did a lot of small stuff, a lot of one-off voices. I guess that's. Like I said, she's done so much. I'm not gonna sit here and list everything she's done.
The biggest one in this is Dale Earnhardt as himself, of course.
Dale Earnhardt, Dale Earnhardt.
Yeah.
Rest in peace.
If those of you who don't know who Dale Earnhardt is, you don't watch NASCAR. So there you go. And I'm gonna go ahead and bring this full circle. So we were talking about Coco Bandicoot and the voice actor for Coco Bandicoot. Well, she also has voiced Coco Bandicoot. We talked about another voice actress a while ago that had done it. Well, there's a TV show called Skylanders Academy, and she voices. It's a Netflix show. She voices Coco Bandicoot in that.
All right, there you go. Now we've got all the Coco Bandicoot information we could totally
deep breath
need.
Okay, so for her feature films, now she did Dill Pickles in the Rugrats movies in the 1998 and 2000, the Rugrats in Paris. So yeah, she's done a lot of stuff, guys. A lot of stuff.
Next one.
She played Cockknocker. Sorry, she played Cockknocker in Jay and Silent Bob's super groovy cartoon movie.
Hey, by the way,
Cockknocker in that.
Cockknocker. Next, Peggy's Turtle Song. Annie DeFranco as Emily. Do you know Annie DeFranco?
I'd have to I'm gonna have to look her up. I probably know who she is, but I couldn't name her just by her name. Annie DeFranco.
Annie DeFranco. Yep.
She's a singer-songwriter.
She's a singer-songwriter. She had some stuff in My Best Friend's Wedding, in the movie Lady Bird, which that was more recent and pretty big.
Isn't that the movie about LBJ's wife?
No,
that's the movie with Saoirse Ronan.
That's right.
You know about the depressed high school, maybe not depressed, high school.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. Yeah, and then we had Beth Grant as a nurse. Beth Grant was in Donnie Darko, No Country for Old Men. One of my favorites of all time, Little Miss Sunshine. She's been in quite a few things, and she played the nurse. And then once again, we had Maurice LaMarche as Gary and Tammy Wynette again as Tilly Hill.
Yeah, so there you go.
Tammy Wynette, reoccurring.
That's funny, though. So back to Annie DeFranco. In the Wikipedia, so Wikipedia gets knocked all the time because it's supposedly, quote-unquote, an unreliable source of information. But if you go down, it has a reference sheet. Well, on the reference sheet, there is a link that you can click on, and it takes you to a article about Annie DeFranco from 1998 on MTV News.
That is almost the end. The last one of that season is Propane Boom, of course, where Luann loses her hair and her boyfriend. And in that one, we have people that we've all covered, but Chuck Mangione as himself, of course. Joanna Gleason as operator. Jim Cummings as Mark McJimsey.
Yep.
And then once again, the prolific and lovely Jennifer Coolidge as Ms. Kresmer.
Awesome. So yeah, like when you talk about people like Jim Cummings and Billy West and what was the lady's name we just discussed? Mason?
Tara Strong.
Tara Strong. Those are heavy. Like when you see their name on 1,000 different animated shows, it just shows that they're voice acting. They're voice acting elite. Especially when you talk about Jim Cummings and Billy West and then Tara Strong.
Yeah, it's amazing when you start looking at these people's careers, how they have made
Jim Cummings especially. He has pretty
just how they've made a career out of just speaking into a mic.
Well, think about to me when I think about voice acting, I think about the Michael Jordan or the Tom Brady of voice acting. Mel Blanc.
Oh yeah,
he's the one that always comes to my mind because he has over 90-something voices inside of him.
Well, not anymore.
Well, they're still inside of him.
Are they?
They're just
Is that how that works?
Inside of him underground.
They buried him with his voices?
Well, because this is what I was. This is what they do in paleontology. They take the throat and stuff from these dinosaurs and they push air through it to see what kind of sound the dinosaur would make.
Okay.
So if you got Mel Blanc and got his voice out of there and you blew air through it, it would say, "What's up, Doc?"
I don't think that's the way it works. I don't think that's how it works. No, I don't think so. No. Okay. But it's a good try. I'd be willing to blow air through Mel Blanc's windpipe, I guess. Well, that is
manually.
That's
with a
all.
Machine,
that's all we've got for this Friday. Rusty, tell them where they can find us.
Guys, you can find us at Linktree. So I started a Linktree. That way it kind of consolidates everything. So if you go to tr.ee/BWAAA, that's 3 A's, KOTH, you'll find every link you need for us. Also, I'm still
every
uploading
link you didn't even know you needed.
Yeah, there's links on there you might not even know about. So if you didn't know, we do have a YouTube channel, and we have 300 plus views so far on that YouTube channel. So everybody that's went and found us on YouTube and is looking at us there, thank you, appreciate it. I'm still gonna have all the episodes uploaded. It's just taking a while. I want to personalize each one so it's unique to you guys, and that's just a uphill project, but. I want to thank everybody again for continuing to watch us, and you can go over to roguemedianetwork.com to find more great podcasts as well as this podcast, and we'd love it if you would go check out some other podcasts too and help those guys out and give them some love, and go engage with them too. There's a lot of great podcasts on the network, and as the new year starts, there's a lot more projects to come out. There's one that you recently started, Mike, that me and my family have enjoyed, the Holiday Stories.
Really? You've been listening to Holiday Stories,
Yeah, The Gift of the Magi by O. Henry, right?
Holiday Stories, we've done that for 2 years running now. Every year around Thanksgiving, I start reading stories about Thanksgiving and then Christmas.
Yeah, we liked it.
That's cool. Great.
It was refreshing. It was something different that we got to enjoy over the holidays.
That's cool. I'm glad to hear it.
Well, because my wife's an educator as well, so she likes all those kind of things too. She listens to a lot of audio books, a lot of audio stuff.
Did she critique me?
She did not critique you. She listened to it with like full enjoyment. She really liked it. She really enjoyed it. Yeah.
Tell her anytime she wants to critique me, I'm open for it. So I'm good for it.
Well, she liked it. She enjoyed it. I enjoyed it
too.
That's
cool. Good.
You being an educator for all those years, you have that tonal quality of an educator. So when you're listening to it, it's. I don't know. It wasn't boring.
And when I die, someone can blow through my larynx to get my
the Holiday
voice back
Stories.
out.
So if you want the
they
Holiday
won't have to
Stories,
do it because I record so much. So
there you
it's
go.
already done.
So all we'll have to do is compile your voice into an AI.
I was talking to somebody the other day because I've started a new show where I talk to podcasters about their podcast.
Yeah, I've seen that too. Yeah.
And the guy made the point that one of the reasons he does it is to chronicle what he was thinking and get creative stuff out there so that generations after him will know who he was.
That's interesting.
And that's a really good point.
That's interesting.
I thought, man, that's kind of cool. Because I could write stuff down for my kids and things like that, but this
is a physical thing that our children can go back and actually listen to,
and they can hear what I was kind of into also, in my inflection and things like that. So it is a little,
and
different.
they can hear you talking about them and stuff like that. How we mention our families on here, so it is a cool thing, and I kind of look at it that perspective too. We're leaving something behind that once it's on the internet is there for infinity. It's always there.
We're leaving something behind that people want rather than what we've done before.
I think we should start trying to put this physically on cassettes, and then we should launch a cassette series.
Okay.
Bwaaa, the King of the Hill cassette series.
Yeah, let's do that. It's we'll mail you a cassette.
Well, that's
Season
one thing
1
that
on its way.
Well, that's one thing in
like Columbia
I was doing research for a podcast I'm not even a part of, the Found Sound podcast.
Yeah.
I was doing research about cassettes, and apparently the music industry has been propped up by the prison system in cassette making. So cassettes for popular music still exist. It's only just been phased out within the last 8 or 9 years in prisons. But for the last, you go back a decade in music, they're still on cassettes. They have a ton of music on cassettes because prisons didn't allow certain things.
Well, that makes
cassettes
sense.
are see-through kind of thing. So you had a see-through radio, a see-through tape. There's nothing that you can't hide your crack in your tape and smuggle crack into a prison facility with it or whatever. But it was a way for the prison system to still have access to music, and they sold tons of them because they sold them at a premium. You're paying triple in jail for that same cassette that you would pay, a few bucks for at a store.
You're paying $6 for a pack of ramen in prison too. I mean, that's because the corporations got you.
Yeah.
All right, so tell them where they can find us and how they can get us. I think you've already done that.
Yeah, again,
so I believe we're done.
Hit us on Linktree, Bwaaa KOTH. Head on over to Rogue Media Network, absorb all that. Find something you like. Find something you don't like, comment it, tell us what we could do better.
And we will be back next week with Season 3, Episode 10. And this is one of Mason's favorites, he told me.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, coming up.
Yeah, it's the one where they become volunteer firefighters.
There you go.
Oh, yeah, that's a good one. That's the one I watched when I was supposed to have watched the other one last week, so I know about that one.
You'll get extra Mason sauce on this one.
It's a great episode. And again, that's an episode where it shows how much Hank really loves his friends.
Yeah.
And how much he does for him.
You got that to look forward to. We will see you next time, guys.
Wimatan yay.
Wimatan yo. This has been a Rogue Media Network production.